All right, so this class is technically about a 365-hour class. I cannot teach this class to you in 1 hour effectively. I'm going to skim over the topics, and I'm going to most likely run behind, as I always do with these type of topics. Because,
So you'll be okay.
yeah, because really there's no one coming in after me. So anyone who wants to stay, I'm going to stay and keep teaching. Anyone of you that need to go to another class, please feel free, okay? And so I get it. I understand you guys are on an agenda, but I'm going to stay here. I cannot teach you guys this effectively in 1 hour, just know that. My goal and my purpose in this business and in this life is that I want to help stylists monetize their skill, or the beauty professional to monetize their skill, number one. Number two, beauty professionals and salon owners and stylists to live wealthy lives and retire wealthy. That's my purpose. And so I'm sick and tired of hearing about how people in the beauty industry have to live like they're poor. I'm just so sick of it. We have a skill that no one else can do. Literally. You know how many times you have clients say to you, I would never be able to do this. And not only do we do hair for a living, guys, we don't sling hair, okay? We psychoanalyze. We build confidence. We give people a change in their lives. We are image consultants. We are psychotherapists. I mean, we are everything behind the chair. We've got to approach this differently. We've got to see how we're doing it. So the name of this course is called the Salon Owner's To-Do List. It's very vague. It doesn't even touch on all the things that we are really going to teach. But I believe that there is a core list of things that we need to learn to do and to prioritize and to do well as business owners, and I believe that these 15 topics are the core topics. Cool? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first slide. So I'm going to give you guys the overview of the 15 or 14 topics that we're going to discuss today in this class. They are very lengthy, but we will touch on some of the main core. The first four are the most important. They're listed in order of importance, in my opinion. With the slides, by the way, guys, just so you guys are prepared, there are 54 slides. So this is like death by PowerPoint today, just so you guys know. I have a tendency to do that. But you guys are welcome to take pictures. Good luck on retyping these in your computer. They are very meaty. So I've done you guys kind of a big favor. If you guys want these slides, they are for sale on USB. I believe they're $35 on USB. Take this, download on your computer, and you can follow this to build the structure of your salon. Realistically, it will take you 3 to 5 years to complete the task on this in this course. Okay? So don't sweat it. Don't get all stressed out about, I'm not getting shit done. You will. You cannot scale a business in 1 week. Okay? You can't take a 1 hour class at a hair show and go home and scale your business. This is unrealistic. You can't do that. You have to get a business education. Realistically, in life, you should have gotten a business course out of college or community college first before you actually open your business. But it's too late. You guys now you have your business. You didn't do it. So now I'm going to try to give it to you after the fact. But this is basically like a college level course given to you guys in 1 hour. If you want more of this, I'm just going to do a little sales pitch now. We created an online course that goes about 13 months long. So Jennifer actually takes it. So if you guys want to pick her brain today or sometime, you guys can pick her brain about it as well. You will probably not stay up to date and caught up on it. It's just really meaty. For example, we're about to launch our fourth module, compensation plans. The workbook is 70 pages. So I just want to tell you guys the depth of just one module. So that's how much information you have to actually learn to become really successful entrepreneurs, in my opinion. All right, so I'm going to just move on. We have a lot of slides to cover, so we're just going to blast through. Assessing your business is the first module and the first topic. A lot of you guys have not assessed your business properly. You just opened because you wanted a pretty salon, you wanted to name it, you wanted to decorate it black and white and red, and you wanted it to be really cute. But you thought nothing of your vision and the assessment of what you want to do behind your business. Why do you want to be business owners? Because if you were a really successful stylist and kind of successful and like the salon you were in, why did you leave? Why did you want to open a business? I have no doubt that it was probably because you wanted to do something to change the industry, to bring something of yourself into the industry so that you can bring good to the world. Would you guys agree with me? So now what is that? What is that? So it's got to be through conveying it and magnifying it through your team. It can't just be about, I want to make more money, I don't want to have a boss, I don't want everybody to know what to do. Because that's not a good enough reason to own a business anymore. Agreed? But I see a lot of people opening a business for these reasons. And we don't want to do that. It doesn't matter to me how you decorate your salon. I could care less how it looks. I could care less what the name is. I could care less what furniture you have in it, what sinks you have. I don't care. That is all part of the experience, which is a different thing than you delivering a business into the marketplace that has a proper compensation plans to grow your teams and focused vision and purpose and assessing your business in the right way to make sure that you are building in the right systems to grow people and to continue to scale. If you do not scale properly, you will sit stagnant forever, and then you will retire after 30 exhausting years, or 40 years, or however long your career as a business owner will be, and you will have nothing to show for it except a $20,000 sale of old equipment. And we do not want that to happen. Agreed? We want you to pass on a legacy of a salon that has amazing systems built into it, an amazing ability to grow. You can go retire in Florida, but that salon still needs to continue to grow without you. Cool? All right. So go back to assessing really quickly. In this, what we do is we look at all the topics that you need to prioritize and work on. Before I teach you how to go somewhere, you have to actually know where you are, right? Because if you have no idea where you are and you're spinning circles, then what's the point? You have to actually stop spinning, look at what you're doing with some real honesty, and go, and not with like low self-confidence. Like I'm not telling you guys this so you're like, I suck. I'm not doing that. I just want you guys just to be real and honest and authentic with what you're doing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong, okay? Because you gotta actually know. Failure, I just said this in the first class earlier, is not a bad thing. Failure is a learning curve. It's an opportunity to do it better. All right, so that's why assessing's first. Second, determine your challenges. You have to actually know what they are so that you know how it correlates to your priority list. Because I'm so sick and tired of like talking to people who are like, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. Yeah, you need to do all of those things. But what do you need to do first?
Somebody's sitting there,
right? So I got to know what you're doing first. Okay? So in
You sit
this,
there and I'll sit on the floor.
the first thing is create a profitable pricing suite. What is a pricing suite? A pricing suite is how you offer your goods and your skills. I said this in the last class, and I stand firm in this. You will not ever be able to monetize what you do until you actually put it down on paper. You have to actually know what you offer. Right? And you don't offer just haircuts, color, and body. Okay, that's not what you offer. You offer an experience. Within that experience, where does your skill set sit? If you're coaching your team, then you have to say, team member, what's your challenges? What are you weak at? Because you can't just let them stay weak on it forever and just focus on the good stuff, which is what a lot of styles do, by the way. They're like, I don't do haircuts. I don't like haircuts. You know what I mean? Okay, I get it. If you departmentalize, that's fine. But what if in color you're still not strong in everything that you do? And by the way, our in-salon color training program of 3 to 4 days is 50 techniques deep, just so you guys know. In school, what do they teach? What do you have to pass state board? 4 techniques? Single process colors, root retouch, virgin lightener, and lightener retouch. Are you kidding me right now? Like, this is like not even close to what we have to know to be in the marketplace these days. This is why they're talking about deregulation in the industry, by the way. You guys know they're talking about this. It's called Bill 88, HB 880, and it's on the table again in Virginia. And so it's like for the 5th time. So they're talking about deregulation. And if they're talking about, yes, deregulation is where they remove all licensing procedures for stylists. Anyone can do hair at any time, anywhere they want, whenever they want. That's what deregulation is. And so it's a bill, that's a formal bill, HB 80, look it up, and they are definitely talking about it. It's on the committee to be looked over and approved. And it's been fought, Omaha, Nebraska had it, and they formed this lobbying group, and they beat the crap out of that bill, and so they didn't pass it, but it was on the table to be passed. So just so you guys know, they are trying to deregulate our industry, and I'll tell you why, it's our own damn fault. Because we're not doing anything to improve our industry in a systemized, collaborative, team-like manner. We're all over the place, just in different states. You know, Nebraska, and it's one problem, and Virginia is another thing, and it's like, so why, it's like all over the place. So the government's like, okay, well now we have financial aid repayment that's like at default rate of 85%, and so they're like, screw it, just deregulate the whole thing, because they're looking at statistics and numbers. So we better pull ourselves together, we better start doing this shit better, or else our industry is going to change, not for the better. Okay? And by the way, disruptors are not a bad thing. Disruptors force industries to do it differently and better and smarter. And with social media and everything on the rise the way it is, if you aren't in the game to win, then just get out. Because you actually, if you're a business owner, you have no choice. Because now you're on the plate. You've said, okay, I'm getting in the pool. Like now I'm in. But now I don't know what to do. I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody to tell me what to do. You have to actually play to win now because it's no longer about you. It's like having kids. Don't have kids unless you're ready to be a good parent, right? Just don't do it. Just be a good stylist and work for a good owner. Agreed? Okay, so I put this up there as determination challenges, some examples of challenges, but let's move on. Okay, profitable pricing. Here we go. I'm going to land this one home for you guys like big time. Profitable pricing is your revenue. You have low pricing, you have low revenue. There are 3 fundamentals to being a salon owner. 3. Jen can probably tell you what they are. Cash in, cash out, and the dual experience. That's it. You have 3 core values that you must follow on a daily basis. Every morning, say it like a mantra. Yeah? How am I managing my cash in, which is revenue and all the revenue streams in which I'm creating inside my business. For everyone that works for me. Cash out is am I in control, financial control of what's going out. Do I know what I'm spending? Do I know how much something costs? Do I understand when prices, when your rent escalates 3%? Do I know that my rent ratio sits at 22%? Do I understand that my rent ratio sits at 6%, which is an ideal rent ratio? Okay, so do you know these numbers? If you don't, I think you need an education. Okay, it's not that you're dumb or you're not a good owner or whatever that is. It's that you now need to decide, part of your 168 hours of being alive a week, is that you need to determine at least 10 of those hours to learn how to run a business better. That means you need to be engaged online, you need to be engaged on YouTube. If you don't have the money to spend on an online course or coaching, then there's tons of stuff for free, guys. You can teach yourself accounting. You just have to be diligent enough to do it, okay, without any excuses. If you can't do it on your own and you need a little coaching, then get a coach. Cool? All right, so let's talk about what these are. I'm going to take a little time on this one because this is very important. The first thing you want to do is create an individual and detailed service list, first order of business. If you have no brochure, get one. If you have a brochure that says things like haircuts, $50 and up, stop that. Okay? We can no longer be vague about our pricing. Our service list is our revenue. Your revenue needs to be detailed and specific. Like balayage, $150, whatever your price is, okay? Color with balayage, $190. Painted panel, full. Painted panel, partial. Color partial foil, color full foil. You guys get the idea, okay? Virgin lightener, lightener retouch, decolorizer, cleanser, treatment bar. On the treatment bar, what do you have? Thinning hair treatment, scalp treatment. Be specific. Don't just be like, yeah, we have treatments on the back bar. They're called deep conditioner, 20 bucks. That's not specific enough. I want more specifics. It has to be super detailed. Our new brochure is 11 inches by 24 inches. It has alone in the center part of that brochure something like 42 color techniques. Everyone's like, well, won't that confuse the client? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not for them. It's for me to train my stylist to understand that you know how to do 20 of them, and you know how to do 40 of them, and you only know how to do 5. So if you only know how to do 5, then you and I have to talk, because then you have to have some additional training, which becomes part of our training. Does that make sense? Yes. And if you're not systemized like that, you're just going to be guessworking it all the time. You're going to be like, she just sucks, because I keep having these redos. But it's your fault, because you keep putting treatments she doesn't know how to do on her book. Why would you do that? Why would you set this kid up for failure? You're demoralizing her. As the owner, it is your job to know what she does well. and then to price it appropriately so she makes the hourly wage she needs to make a good living. And outside of that, she doesn't get booked anything else until she learns it and gets tested out on it, so that you know for sure she's confident to do it and competent, instead of you sitting behind the chair doing a phone going, oh my God, oh my God. Hold on a minute, please. No, don't do it like that. Do it like this. Okay, that's demoralizing too. Okay? A paying client doesn't get tested out on. Agreed? A paying client gets a beautiful experience with a confident stylist. And if that stylist doesn't know how to do it, then don't put it with her. So, do you see why you need a service list? With no and up, or plus, or more, or I don't know, whatever creative way you want to say it. None of that. You know what plus means? It means a tier system. How many of you in this salon have a tier system of pricing? Okay. First order of business. That has to change. Do you know what the tier pricing system is? It's how you promote your teams. It's how you promote your career ladder. It's how you build compensation inside your business. If you don't have tier systems, you're never going to have longevity with your team. You're going to lose your team before, you know why senior stylists and top producers leave you? To do something else or go somewhere else and open a salon? Because they can't grow with you. They just can't. And if they can't grow compensation first and foremost, they're going to find some other place to do it. Was that your question?
No. I didn't know the detailed price list you were talking about. Is there like a website you can find you?
Yes.
Sort of
Email me and I will be happy to send you a copy of mine. And you can see what it is. And then we even go so much further as we actually provide an in-salon training program where we literally come in, well, we do about 25 man-hours beforehand. We look at your brochure and we create your own brochure, and then we come in and we train all those new techniques to your team so we can catch everybody up. So, because really it's really about catch up at that point. Yeah? All right. Process every single service through a pricing scenario. I'm going to run through a pricing scenario with you in 1 minute. So create a tier system within the list. Everyone's like, okay, I'll get 3 tiers. 3 tiers is not enough. 3 tiers means you're only going to graduate people 3 times in your business. You need 6, 7, 8, I don't know, 42. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. The tier system is internal. Yes? Everyone's like, yeah, but with the customer, what will they say? It doesn't matter what they say. They can't dictate your infrastructure. Yes, they dictate your experience. They don't dictate your infrastructure. Your infrastructure is more important than what colors you pick for your salon. So how many of you are opening a salon right now? Anybody? Okay, before you open your salon, create the infrastructure. You're going to create your infrastructure off of this class. Okay? And your infrastructure means everything you do in-house that nobody else sees, that you build in all the structures to continue to grow your business, to scale your business, and grow your team, and make sure you're financially sound. So part of those 3, let me go back to the 3 fundamentals. Cash in, cash out, and then the dual experience. The dual experience is the employee experience first and foremost, more important than the guest experience. You as the owner are in charge of delivering an amazing employee experience, that they feel amazing and lucky to work for you. You're going to have a few drop out because sometimes, you know, people spin on the wheel, I said this earlier, and you just got to walk away. That's fine. But that should be 1% of the time, not 75% turnover. Agreed? Okay. So find a branding suite. Okay, so get online. This print, I use this print, it's cheapest. Staples has it. I don't know, there's a million online printing companies. Find a suite. It all has to look branded. Brochure, business cards, rack cards for your specialty services so that you're promoting your specialty services. Like, for example, all smoothing treatments. If you're promoting it for the summer, it needs to have a rack card. By the way, that rack card sits in all the stations. It sits inside your brochure. You're going to be handing this to people. You're going to be promoting this with, like, going out into the community networking events. These are the things you're going to use to promote those treatments. And it becomes, those branding cards, by the way, or those rack cards become part of the branding kits for your new staff. So if you bring in and you raise up a new baby, you know, a new talent, they make a branding kit. That branding kit has a nice 5x7 branding card. They have all of their schedule. They have all the services that they do. They have the brochure. It's all stapled together. And they get out there and they network, and you teach them to network because that's how they're going to build their business, not social media. Social media is one way. It's external. They have to do internal as well. They have to keep all of their clients. They have to retain. They have to build new referral traffic, new client traffic through that word of mouth first. Then they can go out and do whatever. Okay? I'm starting to get the vibe here that everyone's teaching social media is the only way to build a clientele. Okay, that's one way of the millions of ways to do it, guys. If your retention sits at 30%, that's bullshit. You actually have to have higher retention than you do better social media, okay? You have to, because that's the main way that we're going to grow business. Okay, social media is one way. I'm not knocking it. Great, lovely, build a brand. But you got to do all the stuff better first, in-house. Okay? If you don't have a fine-tuned referral program that's been designed within an inch of its life, then that would be the first order of business, not a social media brand. Cool? All right, so create a spreadsheet for your front desk. So this spreadsheet is going to give you a rundown. So on our pricing module, on our second module in our course, in our online course, which is about a month long, we give you a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet you have to fill out. And on that spreadsheet, you write timing allocations for how much time it takes to do the full balayage, how much time it takes to do the single process color root retouch, how much time does it take to do the virgin lightener or the vivid color application, or whatever your technique is, how much time. And not just overall. You have an ideal overall, but how much time does this young lady take? And how much time does Jennifer take? And how much time does Cynthia take to do it, right? And so we all know the different times it takes to do these things, because by the way, Jennifer can do it in 30 minutes, she's in the money. Yeah? But if she takes an hour and a half to do it, then she's not quite as wealthy, because time is money. Right? And so that means that she needs to get faster. And she's going to want to get faster, and guess who she's going to want to learn that from? From Jennifer. And Jennifer, you're going to pay Jennifer to teach her, because that's a training system. That's an in-house training system. You don't have to come to a show and hire a bunch of trainers to come in. You got them all built into your business. The ones that are good at it. You pay them to do it. Yeah? And grow them. And by the way, now they can make extra income. But that's a whole other topic. Okay. So that spreadsheet has your time allocations, your cost of goods allocations, which means for a full balayage, we allocate 6 scoops of lightener. We use Goldwell Silk Lift, so developer runs about $8 per application of a full balayage to the 6 scoops of lightener, right? And so that cost comes out to be somewhere around like $21.50. So now I know my cost of goods for this full balayage is $21.50. Plus I build in 4 ounces of toner. So 2 ounces of color, 2 ounces of developer, that's her toner. If she does a shadow root toner, that's an additional cost. Now we know, she knows, I'm training her to put in and build into there that she needs to charge $20 extra for that shadow root. And it's communicated. Instead of you going, why didn't you charge her for the shadow root? Now that's lost revenue. And by the way, it's not lost to her. I mean, it is, but she doesn't care. But it's lost to you, as a business owner. So now you're screwed. And then you multiply that times 10 people doing that 4 times a day, and you're losing money 40 times a week, or 40 times a day, or however often that is. And for, you know, somebody who's independent, doesn't make that big of a difference. But to salon owner, by the way, on Friday we ran through 260 tickets, just so you guys know, on our Friday, last Friday, 260 tickets. If I would have made a mistake on 40 of them on one day, how much money is that? Yeah? Don't think for a second that doesn't count. Magnification and compounding of dollars is a huge impact on your business. Multiply that times 365 days, right? Okay, so the spreadsheet sits at your front desk so that your front desk knows exactly what the charges are. The other spreadsheet sits in your back room or your break room so your stylists know exactly when there needs to be an extra color charge, or how many scoops they are allowed to use for that service before they have to do an extra color charge. You know why we put 6 scoops? We don't always use 6 scoops, by the way. But you know why we put it? Because I'm covering for wastage. I'm not paying for the wastage. I don't want my stylist to pay for the wastage. My client's going to pay for the wastage because I'm building it into the price. Fair enough? So then as a salon owner, you're not going to want to shoot yourself every single week, every single time you place an order for all the wastage that's going down the sink. Because they're not going to stop wasting. Can everyone get that? Stop trying to make them stop wasting. They're never going to stop. And as a matter of fact, I would pretty much venture to say you guys as owners who are doing hair behind the chair probably waste stuff too. Yeah? Because you know why? Because we're in the midst of mixing color. We want the hair to be right. And so we'll mix whatever we have to 40 scoops later to make it right. Nothing's going to stop me from doing that. Because we don't want the client to be unhappy. That is the nature of our business. Agreed? So stop limiting that. Stop saying, you cannot use more than 3 scoops. What if they can't get the job done? Then what? Then they're scared to come talk to you because you're reactive, because you're pissed off, because you haven't had any sleep, because you're losing sleep over not being able to pay your rent and payroll and all this other stuff. So you're walking around eggshells around you, and then you have no money. And so then you're like the bitch, and then they have to quit. Because they're like, I can't work for her, she's evil. Right? All right. Because she's stressed. You're not really evil, you're just stressed. Okay. Creating a spreadsheet with color applications for the color bar so they understand what the name of the color application is and how much goes into it. Creating a website with all the matching data. It has to match. How many times have I gone into a salon and seen what the price is? And someone's like, well, here's our brochure, but those aren't correct. I'm like, well, which one's correct? Well, this one at the desk is correct in the computer. And I'm like, well, then I looked at your website, but it looks like what the brochure said. Well, that's not correct either. Okay. Don't you think we should probably get all this correct right now? Like I'm just saying, your clients are probably calling and saying, I thought I saw it here from the website for this. Or the front desk doesn't even know what to quote it. Or if you're giving out brochures, it's like some other dollar amount. It's your revenue. Keep it tight. Okay? All right. Training your front desk how to schedule incremental stagger booking. So every timing allocation, I would venture to say any advanced color. So stop saying corrective color. Can we all agree to just stop saying color, corrective color? It's so stupid. Move on past corrective color. Everyone does corrective color these days. Agreed? It's all corrective color. Because very rarely, how many times do you get to meet a virgin head of hair these days? Not too often, right? Because then that would be virgin application, which isn't corrective. Agreed? 99% of the time we're doing corrected. It's no longer corrected. It's called advanced color. Yes? We're no longer doing state board driven basic shit. We're doing advanced shit. Okay? So let's just agree. Okay. So now in our advanced color menu and advanced color offerings, there are always going to be 4 timing allocations. Agreed? Maybe more. Application time. Process time. Back bar time, finish time. Would you guys agree? So now you have to add in some extra stuff. Maybe there's a decolorizer first, then an application time, then a process time, then a back bar time. And then maybe that back bar has an extra layer of something else because they're doing a shadow root now or a base break or something like that, right? And by the way, don't we tone everybody these days? Okay, and then the finish time. And then what if the finish time they want their hair curled? Now it's a separate timing allocation. Now for thermal styling, are you charging for every single one of those timing allocations? If you're not, you're dropping your revenue down and you're dropping this young lady's compensation down. And she's doing it by herself because she doesn't know any better. You, the salon owner, know better now. You have to teach her to do it different. And so in paying yourself more, get the timing allocations correct. 4 at minimum for every advanced color treatment. Agreed? So now you need to train them, use rack cards, and then use promo cards to sell specific ones. So let's jump to the next slide. Let's talk about the pricing scenario. Okay, what goes under pricing? The target annual income for every person. So let's say Jennifer says to me, I want to make $100,000 a year. And I don't laugh at her or say that's so stupid. I say, okay, you want to make 100? Let's do it. Let's do it. You're not going to say things like, oh, well, our demographics, they don't really have the economic indicators for that, so we may not be able to charge that, so you're going to have to accept less. Now, I agree that living in a very rural area, that maybe the pricing on the housing, and by the way, if you want to see a demographic, get online, search demographic study for the zip code of 22192. It's right there. Anyone can access. I don't need to do a demographic study for you anymore. You can do it yourself. Just pull it up and just read it. It'll tell you this zip code has 14,000 families or 14,000 members of this community, and it sits at $38,000 average median income for the household, and it has a female ratio of 56% to 44% of males, and blah, 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 blah. Just literally give you the whole rundown of the demographics of your zip code. Most salons draw from 3 to 4 zip codes as a community. Would you agree with that? So if your community of your zip code of 22192 has 14,000 homes, if you're pulling from 3, then shouldn't you have 15,000 clients easy? I'm just saying, think about it. If you're only drawing a total sum clients of 1,000, you're not doing something correct. You can pull from more. And you don't need to fight with the salon owner the next door over it. Would you guys agree? 14,000 times 3 zip codes, there's enough clients for pretty much everybody. We don't have to be bitchy and recruit, bitchy and unethical and all these kind of things anymore. Let's all play to win and play nice with each other, because that's a professional way to behave. If we keep cutting everybody's throat in this business, then we're not growing the industry. You're hurting the industry. Don't do that, right? Play nice. Okay, so You need to make sure you start there. That's the beginning of any pricing scenario, is what you want to make. So if you want to make 100,000, I'm going to say how many days a week do you want to work? Right? She says I want to work 4. I want to work 5, whatever that is. If they want to work 4, that means per year of 365 days, they work 200 days a year. That means I divide 100,000 divided by 200 days. Now you know what their daily total needs to be times 2. Because remember, if you're splitting the commission 45%, it's not really split 2, right? It's like you have to figure out what do they have to generate in total gross revenue, multiply that and divide that by 45% commission, because remember, salon owners, you can't pay more than 45% commission. You'll be dead in the water if you do, okay? And stylists that are sitting in the room going, I hate her, she's evil. You guys, if we don't have a business open long term, you won't have a place to work in. A salon owner cannot be profitable over 45% commission, but you can make $150,000 W-2 a year at 40% commission, I assure you. I've groomed them to do it. And we're not, I have 48 employees, by the way, just so you guys know. Okay, we generate a little over $3 million a year in gross service revenue, and our profit margin last year was at around $180,000. I decided to put all the profit margin back in the business to expand out, because we just expanded. But anyway, that's kind of neither here nor there, but you guys understand the numbers, okay? All right, so once I find out exactly what her daily service total needs to be, then I divide it per hours of that day. So if she works 10 hours a day, I'm going to divide it times 10. So now she needs to do this as an average ticket per hour. So if she books 1 hour application time for balayage and 1 hour finish time, and then most of us, would we agree 1 hour of process time is what's in between? Nobody processes 30 minutes anymore except a single process color, pretty much, right? And most of us who have assistants, which if you don't, you need to think about that soon, because if you're going to generate lots of revenue, you need to have an assistant. If you don't, you're going to never magnify your business. Your business stays stagnant at the hours that you can do your pricing change. That's it. So we have to introduce assistants into the business. So get used to it. Don't say things like, my clients won't like a blow dry with an assistant. You're going to have to figure out a way around that, which I have some methodologies around it, but we can talk about that later. Okay, so then now I know exactly, I've honed in to what Jennifer wants in her target hour average, her hourly average ticket. So that's your target. So now you need to make that. And here's how we're going to get there. So then I'm pricing Jennifer's balayage at tier 3. And so at tier 3, Jennifer wants to make $100,000 a year, which I would probably say, you're probably not going to make it a tier 3. You're probably going to be more like a tier 4, tier 5 than you'll make it. But at a tier 3, you might be making $80, or I mean $80,000 or $75,000, something like that, right? So I'll give her a goal. So I'll say at tier 3, if it's $100, let's say that's the average ticket she needs to land at, just for easy math. So then that means she has to charge a minimum of $200. 1 hour of application, 1 hour of finish. Guess who takes care of the background process time? Somebody else, an assistant, yeah, somebody else. Or maybe another stylist that can help work together as a team. So now you build a culture of every stylist working together to help each other to make everybody make more money and drive productivity way up. Because that's how you drive productivity up, as you work together as a team. That's what teamwork is, and that's what defines it. Okay? People don't do teamwork because they're nice. People do teamwork so that you magnify productivity and revenue. That's the bottom line. Yeah? Okay, so then now I go into it, now I understand the timing allocation that goes behind her dollars. And so Jennifer's happy now, because I've given her a metric to follow, and I told her she has to make this dollar amount. And so anything else is fluff. But that we're not done there. A pricing scenario, what else goes into pricing? The cost of goods. Right? But guess what? Cost of goods have been named incorrectly in this business for years. They call it the service charge. It's not service charge, guys. And I know there's all this talk on this ugly beauty business blog and all this kind of stuff, which she's brilliant, by the way. Tina Alvarino is absolutely brilliant, and she's doing amazing things for the industry. But there's an argument out there that says it's illegal. And so, the service charge. And it is, if you do it incorrectly. If you call it a wage deduction and it comes off of their check, it's illegal. If they have not signed a contract behind it, it's illegal. But if they have a contract when you hire them and you say, Jennifer, to work in our business, we pay you 45% commission on 90% of the gross total revenue, gross service revenue. That's a contract. And so now she understands how I'm paying her. But on top of that, I have a compensation scale where I'm like, the first year, if you sit at tier 1 and you do this productivity at 80% metrics, you're going to make this dollar amount on your W-2. At tier 2, you're going to make this much. At tier 5, you're going to make this much. At tier 6, you're going to make this much. So now I spelled it out for Jennifer on my compensation scale so she understands exactly what she's making. Everything else is business. Agreed? So she knows how she's going to grow. She knows how she's going to make money. She's good. But she has to produce at a certain rate. Cool? All right, so then that's timing allocation, and guess where the cost of goods go? They got to go to the house, because who paid for them? Yes? And so that has to be removed prior to any commission. So in a business, there is something called gross total revenue. That is total sum of dollars being collected into the business by anyone and anything. Service, retail, all of it, total gross revenue. In that total gross revenue, you have total retail and retail dollars and service dollars. In the service side, you need to buy things to be able to do the service, right? That's called back bar. Or not really back bar. Back bar is such a broad term. It's actually so much deeper than that. And by the way, at this balayage, if I've calculated $18 or $22.50 and then plus an additional $12 for the color for the toner, I'm already sitting at $34. Do you have $34 on every $180 to, just cough up? And by the way, if you pay her commission on the total $80, are you paying her commission for your cost of goods? Do you see the accounting math in this? All right, so now I'm sitting at total gross revenue or total gross service revenue. I'm breaking that down, and if I say I'm going to pay you 50% commission, and I haven't even calculated my cost of goods, and I haven't removed that out, your business will become something that they call unsustainable. Your business will not be able to sustain long term. So guess who has to cover the cost? The owner has to work 60, 70 hours a week to be able to afford to buy the color because in which they're paying the 50% commission on. Does that make sense? Okay, so now I know stylists are like, what? It doesn't matter what the ratios are. If you need to make $100,000 a year, we can teach you and coach you to get there. The numbers of the business are the businesses matter. Okay, that's called financial strategy. If you want to learn how to do it so you understand the numbers, we'll teach you. But you can't dictate to me, you give me 60% or I walk, because then you're going to have to walk. Because I can't take a hit. And if I do take a hit, there has to be a real justifiable reason behind it. The reason is that you become something that they call a loss leader. A loss leader means I'm taking a loss on you because you act like a goddamn leader in my business. Not because you act like a toxic diva in the back room and I take a loss. That has to go. Agreed or not? Okay, so no one gets to act like a diva when you're taking a hit. If you take a hit financially, it's because they are training and they're teaching and they're leading their team through brand championship. Agreed? Okay. All right, so now we have the whole pricing scenario broken down with the cost of goods and the timing allocation. Remember, this young lady's already making what she needs to make in her timing allocation. What is labor? Labor is time. In car businesses, what do? They pay you for the time, the hours billed. In law firms, what do they pay you for? They pay you for billable hours. In salons, we need to stop doing this nonsense of whatever it is that you say you pay commission on. You get paid billable hours. That's what you get paid on. Labor. Agreed? Everything else is business cost. No more of this discussion about it's illegal to do whatever. It is if you wage deduct without telling them. And you're not transparent about the compensation plan. Get transparent and you can do it. But they need to sign a contract behind it to understand how they're being paid. Yes?
I just have to take one step back. So are you saying that to pay commission, you're taking basically your gross service in this circumstance, and then you're subtracting your cost of goods for the services, and then you pay commission on that
Yes,
number?
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Now, if this stylist is like, you're stealing my money, they're not the right stylist for you. Because it's not your money. It's not my money either as the owner. The money doesn't belong to me, the money doesn't belong to you. You know who the money belongs to? The legal entity of this corporation. That's who the money belongs to. Because that's how legal businesses operate. Yes? Then the owner gets paid out of that in a certain way too. The owner doesn't get to keep everything that's fluff in there. That's illegal as well. Agreed? At least it should be. Yes?
So is that on, you said 45 of the 90?
Were you saying that
45 of
you
90,
were
yes.
taking it-
Now, you can do whatever dollar amount you want. I don't really care, but the point is it has to be fair, and it can't be on the retail dollars. And it has to be exactly what your cost of goods are. So you have to base all your inventory on your cost of goods. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so everyone's like, well, why don't you just pay them 30%? Okay. If you'd rather do that, that's fine. I mean, if that's an easier math formula for you, fine. But good luck finding senior sales to work at that. Good luck. So, I mean, and that's fine if you want to do it that way. I absolutely see that as the more simplistic, better way to do it. I agree. I think that should be the way to do it. But tell me if you do an interview, you're like, I paid 30% commission, how that's going to go over. Right, or 35. It's not about the commission that you make. It's about the ability to make the money that you need to with the systems that you put into the commission-based salon. If you have a commission-based salon with 0 systems, you are not a commission-based salon, a real one anyway. You're one that's kind of playing at it. You don't have the systems to support them to continue to grow them. They have to be able to grow to $100,000, $150,000 behind the chair. They have to. If you don't have systems in your business that will allow someone to do that and the compensation plan mapped out for the timing allocations to do it, you can't grow them in their compensation. Agreed? And I know people are so upset with me for saying this, but I'm not here to tell you what to do with your business. I'm here to teach you about the legal and the best accounting practices possible and the best practices in your business to make you the most profitable. Keep in mind, even at that scenario, you are only 3 to 5% profit margin yield. You might as well shut your salon down tomorrow and go open an ice cream shop because the profit yield in there is about 40%, just so you guys know. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I love people too much in this business. Yeah.
What's your take on sliding scale commissions?
Sliding scale is the only way to go, in my opinion. Sliding scale is the only way to go, and I'm going to explain that in the compensation. Yeah.
So what if you're already paying more than 45%?
So
you go back.
you leave them as loss leaders at this point, and then you readjust the pricing significantly to adjust all of those changes. So you never remove anything off their paycheck at this point. If you're already in the water or in the weeds with your commission structures, I'm not telling you to go change them. I'm telling you to change your pricing to compensate for that. And then put that dollar amount into as cost of goods. That's how I would do it. It's got to go to the pricing. So I would never suggest that you go home and implode your business by doing anything like that. Never. You know? And leave those as loss leaders. But you know what? To stay on that scale, guess what you're going to get? A list of responsibilities that you can do for me. You know what I mean? And then they become senior staff as you hire and train new people in. And I think that's fair. Would you guys agree with me?
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So then, now you know the cost of goods. Basically anywhere from 5 to 25% per service. And then you have to build in the third component of pricing, which is your desired profit. How you're going to pay yourself. Yeah. And so on the range, it sits somewhere between 5 to 10%. 8% is nice, 10% is better. That means if your pricing comes out to be balayage, $200 is base price, cost of goods, $35. Now it's $235 for this balayage for Jen at tier 3. And then I'm going to build in 10%. 10% is $23. I'm going to add $23 to the price. Now I know my price is $35 plus 32, which is like $266 or whatever, $267. Right? So now base price $270. I know. Do you see how I came up with the price for this tier 3 balayage for this young lady? Cool? And guess what? Guess who gets to split profit with you? The stylist. Because you're not going to deduct profit out. You're already telling them off of 90%. That means the profit that built into that price goes half to them, half to you, or whatever percentage of commission. Make sense? So that's an extra layer outside of their timing allocation. Very, very nice. Yeah? And you better build it in. And guess what? You get a rent escalation of 3%. Guess what changes? Price. Color goes up 10%. Guess what changes? Price. Yeah? You guys get the idea? Insurance goes up. Medical insurance. Guess what changes? Price. Yeah.
When clients ask that, like, why did the price increase? Is it professional to be like to say that to them?
Yeah, just say cost of doing business is going up. It goes up all the time. We have to readjust prices to accommodate for those. But we have plans for you. If you can't afford this, we would be happy to pass you to this tier 1 instead of a tier 5. That's why you need to have a tier 1. Yeah? And so you don't lose them out of the business, you just pass them to someone else. Yeah? Okay. And then the last component of pricing is demand level. Demand level means I get to readjust. Yes? I'm sorry? Yes.
Anything on if you, like, I feel like our pricing is, well, I know, our pricing is already too low. We've tried to like kind of slowly do it, but it hasn't been enough to make a difference in what we need to make a difference.
You are literally talking about the biggest problem in the industry. All of you guys, when you do price increases, it's like you want to tiptoe in. You're like, I'm going to put my toe in, but I'm going to hope nobody gives me any fluff about it. Screw it. If they're going to give you fluff, just go all in. Go big or go home. Like, Harvard studies have shown that anywhere from 8 to 10% increase in price, clients very rarely see some sort of significant weird thing, bad thing about it. They very rarely view it negatively. You will always get fluff. Always.
But what
There
do
are
you do
ways
when you
to
have
handle
the stylist and the customers thinking they're giving you fluff?
You got to teach your stylist to think differently. That's where you got to start. You got to teach them a business class to teach them what goes into pricing and how pricing affects their paycheck. Because stylists think you need to increase commission to give them a better paycheck. But let's look at this. If they make $100,000 in gross service revenue a year, and you pay them 50%, and they're like 55% or I walk. You're like, okay, I'm gonna give you 5%. So what is 5% of 100,000? 5,000. What's a commission split of 50% on that? 2,500. So you're bitching to me about quitting about a $2,500 raise? Are you kidding me right now? Like, let's not talk about that. On the scale of all things to grow a stylist income behind the chair, commission sits at the bottom of importance and impact. Just so you guys know. If they start pre-booking, they can literally see a $30,000 jump in 1 year if they have 200 clients regular. Do you see the difference here? There are bigger and better ways to increase revenue, guys, behind the chair. How many of you guys that are like, I'm scared of raising prices, but then how many of you churn 2 to 3 to 4 new clients a week down? Because they're like, I need to get in. You're like, it's been 6 weeks. Can't get in for 4 or 6 weeks. Are you kidding? Like right there, that should tell you. That's the only metric you need to pretty much just say, raise your prices right now. Right, Jen? Yes?
Hi. What about those of us who are salon owners but independently?
So same principle applies. Same principle applies. Because you know what, guys? Independents, you guys have the same expense ratios as we do. You just don't have the employees to pay the labor rate to. That's the only difference. But you have all the same business expenses. Yeah? I mean, you can minimize it a little bit, and deductions can be different, but it's still the same business expenses. Pricing should be approached the same exact way.
So with the pricing increase, if you are independent, you have to have that conversation with every single person
Yes.
right at the beginning.
Unfortunately, that's one of the negatives of being an independent contractor, is that there's no buffer layer between you and the client about price increasing. But I would go ahead and have the tiers so that they just know prices will be increased every year on the state. So they know, and they're prefab for it for the year. Just have it. Just be like 4 tiers in. Yeah, I'm at tier 2 right now, but just so you know, every year on January 1, I'm going up. So they know. So then they just expect it. And by the way, how many times do you have people calling in every week and you can't get in?
Like 5.
So you could easily lose 5 every week and be totally okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Agreed? Okay. Did I make my point? Okay. All right. So this is an $80,000 pricing scenario. So I gave you a pricing scenario. Let's run through it. I'm eating up class time. I'm so sorry, and I'm literally like 5 slides in. But this is a tier 4 stylist. I know you guys can't read this. I'm going to read it to you. Add an annual target income at $80,000. 4 days a week times 50 weeks of work. Works 200 days per year. Needs to produce $180,000 of gross service revenue per year at 45% commission. Brings him to $81,000 hit target income. Okay? 180,000 divided by 200 days is a $900 service total per day, times 8 hours a day is $112.50 average ticket. That means you better be hitting $112.50 an hour. That means that do we have the luxury of booking one client 4 hours through anymore? No. Stop scheduling like this. It is detrimental to your business. You might as well just be working half the time. It's the same equivalent. Okay, example, balayage with shadow roof starting for the demand team of tier 4. We built on the price of $331, and that includes all the components of the pricing. Application, 1 hour, 15 minutes. So see, I'm very generous. I gave you 1 hour, 15 minutes to apply. Okay, so process time, 45 minutes. Back bar time, 30 minutes. Finish time, 1 hour. You can see the billable hours are 112 and 112. Guess who's doing these? An assistant. Guess who else is doing another balayage in between or another full foil in between? The stylist at $112.50 an average ticket. So she's targeting her average tickets. Okay, so it's 2 hours, 15 minutes of billable time with another chemical service during the process and back bar time. another $112.50. Base price for the time needs to be 2 hours and 15 minutes of hours billable time. Round it up, base price, $245. So $245 plus the COGS, cost of goods, 6 scoops of lightener, $3 each, blah, blah, blah. I'm just run through that. Total COGS on this service in our salon, $56. $56? That's not 10%, okay? I'm just saying. And I'm willing to bet your stylists use about the same amount of color. And then $245, so now we're going to do the math, we come up with $331. By the way, $30 is the profit. So you, as the salon owner, make $16 profit on that service. Do we understand what a pricing scenario is? So when you go home and you do your pricing, this is how you need to do your pricing for every service you put on that brochure. Cool? We jump?
Oh, shit.
All right. Number 3 priority is going to be financial literacy and salon infrastructure. Remember the 3 fundamentals of a business owner: cash in, cash outflow, cash in, cash out, dual experience. All the financial reporting and tracking using the financial metrics and the documents in your business. Let's go ahead and jump. Go ahead. So, go ahead and jump. So cash in, these are the ways you make more money inside of a business. Service-based revenue, retail-based revenue, changing your pricing, scheduling strategies and scheduling tighter. Team productivity, when you get teams to work together, that will increase productivity and revenue. Guest rate of return, higher amounts of that, and retention will absolutely make you more money. Service upgrades, every time you upgrade a service, again, another way of generating more revenue. Last year we generated $120,000 off the back bar without a stylist touching a client. Retail strategies, that brings in more money. Marketing strategies, this brings in more client traffic. So now you see all the ways to increase revenue. Go ahead and jump. Cash outflow, these are the things you need to be very aware of on a regular. So labor, always watch your commission, etc., your taxes, all of your taxes in our online class, and why there's 34 videos that we teach just on this alone is because you have to understand what your responsibility is legally. The only legal responsibility of a business owner this day and age in the federal United States is to make sure you match taxes properly under the classification of employer-employee. Okay? So get it right. You can't say someone's a subcontractor when you're treating them like an employee. There's some points of separation there. There's about 5 points of separation that the IRS and the Labor Department consider legal points of separation that you must have. 1 being the money doesn't come through the front desk. It has to go to the stylist. 2nd has to be that they have to have their own business license and business insurance, or that's the 3rd. 4th need to be that they are never being treated like an employee. No one manages them, no one tells them what to do, how to dress, when to come, when to go. Okay? And then they get to take and choose and pick and choose any customers that they do behind the chair. That's their work. You can give them parameters of how to behave professionally in your business and your organization, but that's about it as a subcontractor. Doesn't that sound like sweet ownership? That's why Sola is doing it right. And I know you guys are going to get really mad with me and say I'm evil for saying that. But let me be honest with you. Sweet rental salons are fixing the commission issue. Commission-based salons have not been doing it well. And I'm not saying commission-based salon owners are going anywhere. I'm just saying we better do it better. And if we're not going to do it better, we're going to lose them to them. So if you want to keep your team and you want to keep your people and you want to keep them 25 years, you better build in stuff into your business to keep them there. Like compensation skills that grow, proper pricing, some schedule flexibility, some vacation pay, some benefits, some things like this. You know, if you don't, you're going to lose them. You might as well just run a sweet salon, right? Which is what a lot of people are doing. I've met multiple commission-based salons who are like, screw it, I hate them, I'm going over to suite. You know what I mean? They close down their business and they go open up their own private suite. I've seen people give up a lot because not because they don't know how, it's just because they're exhausted of not knowing the issues and they keep putting out fires. I don't want that to be you guys. I want us to run beautiful commission-based salon owners. As a matter of fact, I want it to be so much so that I'm trying to start a coalition of commission-based salon owners that help each other continue to grow and educate themselves so that we are all running the same format. So that all, none of this competitive recruitment nonsense that's happening. We need to be all above board and make this industry look amazing. Cool? All right, so financial reporting and tracking. Retail reports, I know some commission, and you guys, just so you guys know, I want to preface the conversation because I know commission-based salon owners are thinking, I hate her. I really want commission-based saloners to succeed. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think, though, we have to change our focus. We have to shift over to finding the target audience that's correct for us, which is new stylist training into the business and into the program. Yeah? And let the ones that want to leave, just, they can go. It's okay. They're ready to do their own thing. It's all right. But make sure they're going for the right reasons, not because you're not helping them grow. Okay? And there are people that should be in a suite because they're much better at it and they're hustlers and they're really good at it.
One of the challenges we have at our salon with 35 employees is that it's not that they want to leave, it's that they don't want to reach that potential or that goal. How do you coach through those processes?
It's because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't understand it from the big picture view. They only see it as what they have to do every day. I would give them big picture view. Yeah. So financial and reporting and tracking. So these are all the reports. I'm not going to read these to you, but go ahead and skip through. All right, so these are the company's financial metrics that you need to know. So you need to understand what the metrics, and you need to watch these metrics on the regular. These are reports that grade your business. So you need to understand what these are, and so you understand. Okay, I'm not going to read through them again. I have a lot to cover with you guys, but you guys get the idea of what these are. We can teach this in our online course if you want this. If you just want to talk about it with me, email me and call me. I'll be happy to talk about it. Yeah?
This process that you're going through the slides, do you sell with like the details or the...
So the slides you can get on a USB outside.
Right, but does it break it down more? Or
No.
Is that something different?
If you want to learn how to do this takes me about 6 weeks to teach you.
Okay.
Right, Jen? So literally 6 weeks of workbook, reading, watching videos and everything to learn exactly what each metric means and what, again, an hour is never enough time for me to teach you these things. I mean, agreed? I can spend 1 hour just teaching you this slide. Okay, let's jump. So this is the team performance metrics. If you're coaching people, these are the metrics that you need to be teaching your team. Okay, the big things. Retail, I want to point out something. I don't want you to tie in your retail dollars or your retail percentages to your price increases anymore. I want you to stop doing that. I want you to remove the parameter of retail achievement out of their price increases. Price increases, guys, are, am I running out of time? Is that the issue? Okay. I'm going to keep going. Whoever, if they kick me out of the room, then we'll get out, okay?
Yeah.
All right. The reason for this is because I just think retail is a separate compensation structure. You should metric this different than the rest. If you're getting a price increase on service performance, then just keep it under service performance metrics. If you're giving them increases on retail performance, then count that separate. Don't hold retail over their head to say you can't price increase your services according to your retail being low. Because you want to know why? Because the national average for retail performance is 3%. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And you're shooting them in the foot. Agreed? So just remove it as a parameter. I know, you guys are like, but I want to incentivize them to do retail. You can incentivize them to do retail in a lot of other ways. You don't have to keep their prices low to do that. It's kind of destructive to their business, you know, what you guys are, and to yours. All right, and then some of the big things are retention, productivity, average ticket metric, referral metrics, like all these things you need to be counting. New client traffic, existing clients retention, referral basis, service application timing and allotment. You should be able to run a report and see that Jennifer did 42 full foils, 86 partial foils, 14 balayage, and 36 men's haircuts. You should be able to see that. And the reason that metric is important because I can see that maybe she only had 20 extra color charges when she did 1,400 chemical charges. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't match. So that means that she didn't charge correctly for those things. And then I can talk and coach about that. Okay, keep going. Compensation plans and benefits. All right, we've talked a lot about compensation plans, but what goes into compensation plans basically is just to understand the driving forces behind it and create the career ladder. And then you're going to have in your business, to run a very successful commission-based salon, I want to point out this sentence right here. Commission-based, hourly-based, performance, benefits, team-based, and reverse commission. Reverse commission is sort of a new concept. We can talk more about that another time, okay? But that's how you design your compensation plan. So in your business, you'll have multiple layers of compensation for many reasons, and you're going to use them very strategically. I can teach you for 1 month just on this. Okay? So let's jump the slide. And this is a career growth ladder. This is going to be the one thing I want you to take from this. If there's anything to take from this class today, it's this. Okay? So compensation ladder. In it, you need to define at a tier 1 or at a, not a tier 1, I'm sorry, a level 1. Notice I used two different words. Level 1, these are a career ladder of compensation growth, not a tier system of pricing. Two different things. Okay? So a career ladder level of 1 looks like what? A career ladder of 6 looks like what? Okay, so if we, and by the way, in your career growth, the components are going to be the commission-based pay, the tier price levels, the demand teams that they're on, which means how much demand metrics they have. So meaning how many clients do they have, like how much retention, how much new traffic, etc. And then their compensation growth. If we jump a slide, I'm going to show you a snippet of what a level 6 looks like. Can I jump? Okay, so this is a level 6 career growth level or compensation level in our business. So at the top, level 6 means compensation scale. Mid-demand service provider means that they are sitting at mid-demand. So that means that they have around 60% productivity, 60% new client traffic, you know what I mean? Those kind of metrics show you what demand is. And then on it, I give them very strong structure what their average hourly ticket needs to be. At this point, commission is starting to override what the hourly basis is, what you need to be doing for this level, what are the main focuses, what the owner investment is at this point, because there is an investment, guys, into what you do per person. And then commission equating to an average hourly wage of about $21 to $32, which gives them an annual income of somewhere around $40,000 to $60,000 a year. So we break it down very defined for them, so that when I do a hiring process, they understand what it is. The evaluation metrics are going to be these metrics below, and then we are going to be focusing on these per this demand level. So when we do goal settings for the year or two for this person, that's what we focus on. Can I jump a slide? This is a sample sliding scale. You were mentioning sliding scale. In my opinion, the only way to do commission is on a sliding scale. Sliding scale works like this. You have a base scale for a certain dollar amount of production per week. Then you continue to grow that. But remember, 42 is always paid on just this 1,500. It is never different. This is true sliding. 15 to 31. This is, you only pay 45 on this dollar increment. You only pay 50 on that dollar increment. Now, you have to look and see what your team is doing in your business already so you can build the scale. This is, you're not going to follow the scale. You're going to go into your business and look at what your scales need to be, because in your business it might be different. You might be making different types of compensation in your salon. Your pricing may justify something different. So all that's very different. So this has to be very customized work. Cool? And jump. So this is the pay structure. I'm just going to tell you what an investment of building a new person is. I just want you to see this. This is in our business. So to the tech team, 1 to 2 years of an investment of training for 1 to 1.5 years. 6 months an associate tier, right? To get booked to graduating to a tier 1 or tier 2 target level. So I'm explaining to this young lady, if you're just starting out and you're just graduating, how long it's going to take you of training and work to get to that level. And then full-time employment, this is your investment as an owner, 40 hours per week times $9 an hour, $360 per week, times 2 weeks bi-weekly pay schedule, $720, times 26 pay weeks a year, is $18,720 that you're going to invest in paying this person money to work in your business while you're training them and growing them. That's your responsibility, by the way. So then this includes 1 week of paid vacation and then education training calculated at $100 for that training, times 2 weeks per month is $200 per month. I'm going to explain these to you in just a little bit. Times 50 weeks. Basically, they're getting trained 2 weeks out of the month, so 2 times a month. They have a 4 or 5 hour training session every month. But guess who has to do that? A senior top producer. And guess who gets to be paid for that? The senior top producer. And then that senior top producer training, you're going to use this. They have to understand. And by the way, you're not asking them to pay. You're paying, but they need to know there's a value to it. Instead of being like, oh, well, you know, I don't know what I'm doing here. All I do is clean. You guys get the idea? And then they leave. How many techs have left you just because they're like, you're just not teaching me anything? Hiring and orientation process. This is an entire video. I'm not going to sit here and do this because I know we're running late on time. But we have on the Statements Project website, so if you go to the Statements Project website, there's an entire video that's an hour long on just how to create a hiring process inside your salon. To find the right person and to define the right roles for you. Cool? And then in here, you want to make sure you build contractual training schedules that are on contract in the time frames of 6 months, 1 year, 18 months, and up to 2 years. Thank you guys so much for seeing me. And then we have in this program online, we have a 120-page training module, training manual that we use for all of it. Dialogue, balayage, 50 color treatments, haircuts, all haircuts, long hair dressing, makeup, waxing, shampooing, toning, face spray, you name it, blow drying, styling, thermal styling, all of it. Create measurability and management autonomy. Okay, it's a long slide, you guys should take pictures, but let me give you the overview of this slide. Is basically the goal is to build autonomy and measurability. That's what leadership gives you. So guys, when you're ready to exit your building and you're ready to exit the business, you have a layer of people that are going to continue the legacy. That's the whole goal. Goal settings and training systems, this is just more of it, but let me give you the overview of this slide. The thing I want you guys to know is you need to define your leadership style, and you need to know that it's effective in your business with your people, and to create the brand integration and vision of what you choose your business to be in the marketplace. Okay? And then most of the time I would tell you, lead by winning hearts, not lead by anything else. Leading by fear with creative people will never work. They just don't respond. Lead by winning hearts. Creative people, when they love you, they are loyal to you. And that's the thing I would tell you to follow. Yeah. Okay. Good. So part of your goal setting, and we're going to show you some of the forms, are just some of these things in these forms. Here's my tip for you. Get on Google Docs on your email. Who has Google Docs? Okay, get on Google Docs. Who does not know what Google Docs is? Okay, Google Docs is basically an app that you buy that allows you to write a document and then hit share to an email to someone else. And then that person is able to edit that same exact document, and then you see what they edit so that we can work together from 2 remote locations, and it's hyper effective. Okay? What we do is we create entire entire documents of digital files on each employee on our Google Docs. And then any one of our leaders have access to those files and can submit information all the time. So for example, if Jennifer shows up an hour late on Tuesday, the on-site manager at that time can go right into her phone and say, Jennifer DiMatteo, hour late Tuesday, June 1st, showed up at 11:15. See what I'm saying? And then, by the way, when I sit down and do goal settings, it's tracked. 0 emotion. So I'm sitting there and I say, Jen, there's 9 times you were an hour late in the last 6 months. You want to tell me why? Like, let's talk about why this is happening. Is there some struggle going on at home? Is there something we need to change your schedule for? Like, to help you accommodate your life better? Like, what can we do to help you? If it's just like, I just don't really want to get up early. Okay, well then now you know how to manage, right? If she's like, I'm a single mom now, my husband left, and I have to do everything by myself, and I have so many responsibilities in life, I think I do need a schedule change, I just didn't think to tell you. Isn't that a different conversation? Okay, so now you guys see why this is important to talk. So leadership is about this, in my opinion. So keep going. Here's an important, this is an example of the first page of our goal setting sheet, where we just kind of fill things out, but we like to have them fill it out really, because I like to hear what they evaluate themselves at, more than what I like to evaluate at. But then you can do it as well. It just kind of hits the target and just try to get things more defined. Keep going.
We have all the forms for sale too, I just have to add that in there.
On the USB with the flash drive, I believe all these forms are on there.
Flash drive.
Oh, separate flash drive, okay. Powerful conversations, documentation, and management, and then we talk a lot about these topics in that part of the class. Leadership is all about how to have powerful conversations. There's a book out there called Power. It's red, it's orange and blue. You guys should buy it. It's a really good conversational book to learn a lot about how to speak more powerfully from the heart, more authentically, and get the job done, and really get people to do what you need them to do and understand to agree upon it as well. Yeah, I think it's an important book. As a leader, you need to know how to talk. It's called Power. I forgot the name of the author, but it's orange and blue, the cover. It's a really good book about having powerful conversations, speak more powerfully and clearly. Okay, I'm going to just jump through and show you what the topics are so that we can skip through them, okay? Policies, procedures, and documentation. Keep going. I just want to show you what some of these are. So these are some of the forms. Keep jumping. This is basically an attendance tracker, an incident tracker, just to like if they're wasting color 5 times. An infraction form. Basically, this is like something more serious, and you can notice the scale of what will happen at each infraction. So we get very clear on what's to happen. You know why? Because if I'm not doing the management and I'm out of town teaching, Jennifer, my manager, can manage for me, and she understands exactly what to do. You see how we can get a little bit more systemized. Okay, keep going. So this is an employee warning notice when you need a warning about something. I don't like to use these. I'm the good cop. Somebody else will make that cop. Employment contract, these are some examples. You need to have a really good one. Make sure you have it in there defined, and then you have in addition to the employment contract, a compensation plan as well, so they understand. It's called a total compensation plan. Keep going. Oh, I'm sorry, go back. This is a training, go back one. This is a training contract. It's 12 months long. We have a 12-month one. Thanks, guys. That's 12 months long. You can do a 6-month or do a 2-year or whatever you want. But this is where we tell them what their schedule is, amount of hours, and we literally run down month to month to month what we're training them on, and they have to sign off on it. Going? This is the client waiver. These are just some documents. And again, all these forms are on that USB up there if you want. Session work contract. This is for session work, that we're doing session work inside the salon. I don't know how many of you are doing that, but we're doing it all day long, every day. We have to use these type of documents to keep that from happening.
Just a quick question, when you do your training, do you train on
Contracts?
do you train on actual clients, or do you train on just mannequins?
No, we train on mannequins. We always train on mannequins. And I'll tell you why. We don't want any clients interfering with the learning process, because God knows they do.
Right.
So that time is a judgment-free zone where we can get to the heart of the matter and really train the skill to where it needs to be. I mean, if you're paying for it, you're setting aside time for it, it has to be effective. Okay, so session work contract, we teach them when we do color classes how to use a session work contract in the consultation to make sure that that client understands it's going to cost $1,800 to get them platinum over 6 sessions, you know. Temporary color release form, I'm sick and tired of parents calling back and saying, you know, the pink faded in 3 weeks. Yes, we told her that. Well, I want my money back, you know what I mean? So somebody has to sign off on it, use this, etc. Okay, so we have these kind of contracts. We have to become more litigious. We have to become more contractual. How many of you had a wedding and you just had a wedding without a contract? You just had a contract for everything. Come on, salons need to be doing that too. Okay? 9 and 10, creating team training systems, front desk training, keep going. Front desk, so this is the associate training manual. It's about 120 pages long. It's very in-depth. Keep going. And then this is the front desk training program that we have. This is actually online, but we're refilming this for the new module, for the new online course. But these are some of the things that we talk about, the policies, the guest mistakes, the booking policies, the cancellation policies, you name it, the challenges come up, we've addressed it, and we've tried to put it down so that salons can build in these systems of training. Keep going. And go back one, I want to share one really quickly. This is a shared commission policy, which means that if there's a redo policy, if somebody's redoing, how many have you have that issue in business? So we've addressed all that very cleanly with contracts about how to share those things, and that it's all fair, so no one can say, well, she took commission from me to pay her, and we all understand the culture that's in the salon is to get the job done and to do it, and we share clients, and that's the culture I've built because I like that culture. I don't know if you like that culture, but I don't want to work in a culture of not having that shared responsibility. So we also share commission on those kinds of things as well. Okay. Good. Community marketing and branding. This is where we start getting to in-house and then external. So we talk about community marketing first, the referral programs, the retail programs, the loyalty programs, the seasonal promotional calendars, the business cards, how to use them, the branding kits for your new people, your membership programs, if you're going to do any membership and why you want to do it, and then to calculate that via dollars. And then develop social media consistency, which is the last thing on the list for us. There are a ton of other people that can teach you social media. I don't need to teach you social media. I can teach you how to run your business financially. I can teach you how to follow compliance laws and legalities. I can teach you how to build systems, but I'm not interested in teaching you guys social media, okay? I can teach you social media by showing you what to say and how to do it and how to take a picture, but outside of that, I'm telling you there's no other secret guys to social media except consistency. That's all. Good content and consistency. That's all. There's no trick to it, okay? Just you got to do it. So many people are like, I know, I just don't like it. No time. I know. Nobody has time. It's a full-time job. But you have to do it if you want it, right? Okay. And we break it down to 4 communities. We break it down to internal, external community affiliations, which are like people that come in your salon, by the way. You're like, will you advertise in my book for $100? You know what I'm saying? I love those people because guess what? Not only am I tapping in with that ad, But in return for the favor of me advertising for your biggest dollar amount on there, I want access to your people in your group. And how I'm going to get access is I'm going to give away goodie bags, I'm going to get in front of them, I'm going to promote my business, and I'm going to have an opportunity to get those people in my salon. Because those are people that live in your community. And by the way, you're already giving a gift to them anyway, so you might as well tap into it, right? Keep going. And outreach programs we do a lot. We love outreach programs. Like a cancer program that we're about to start. We love this in the local hospital, right 5 minutes from our salon. We're going to be taking care of and doing beauty services for cancer patients. Customer service and the guest experience, what does that look like? It's a 15-step. We have an entire video. If you guys want this video, I'm happy to share this video with you online. So if you just send me an email, I'll send you the video. We walk through an entire guest experience from beginning to end and how to formulate your own guest experience. And then building brand champions inside your business, and then brand integration. Brand integration is really about what's in your head, putting it down on paper, what do you want your brand to have purpose in, and then how to put that into every bit of training and experience that you do. And then the 7 zones of it. 7 zones in your salon, about where that comes into play. Retail training programs. If you guys want higher retail, you need to start some retail training programs. And retail training isn't getting your manufacturer to come in with a rep saying, I'm going to do some PK. Okay? That's not retail training. That's retail introduction. Retail training is a formal person who knows how to sell the shit out of something, to sit down and teach your staff how to talk when they sell. Selling is also timing. The right time to say the right thing. Would you guys agree with me? Mm-hmm. And so knowing when those times are and understanding the cues of when a client's like, my hair is dry. It is. Let's talk about it. What is it dry? Where is it dry? How is it dry? When is it dry? What do you do at home to make it not dry? Okay, so now we're going to ask and query, and we're going to make sure we understand the needs. Once we understand the needs, then we sell the solution. Agreed? So retail training is all about that. Retail training and becoming a good seller doesn't happen in one shift. It takes years to make somebody a good seller. Years. Okay? Oh, go back. What was that one? Okay, sorry, go forward. Go forward.
Now you want to go forward. Yeah.
So this is basically the gist of how we create retail training programs and the overview of it. And then, same thing I just kind of told you, but you guys have the idea. Mention. 14, this is where we start unlocking some profit in some other areas in the business. So now we start looking at it, and once you have all your structure set up, we look at the back bar, we look at the back room, we look at the color room, we look at all these other areas where you can start saving some dollars and maximizing a little bit more revenue out of each area so you can become more profitable. So we start looking at some of those things. Keep going. Some of the back bar strategies and how to create treatment bars inside your business. Color room allocations. Here's what I say about color room allocations. It's very important. This is actually, again, would take me a month to teach you. Color room allocations means that you have for every service a pre-signed allocation per service of what you use in your back room. That's what that means. If you guys don't want to do this, there's a company called MIA, M-I-A, that does it on app. So you can buy the app. The app is $100 and something a month, and you get a scale, and you literally can measure your color, and they keep track of all of it per the name of your services for everything. So they do this work via app. You have them do it. So if you want to do it that way, if you don't want to do it the old-fashioned way. Cool? All right, and then we talk about some inventory and stuff like that. Good. Sustaining and evolving and exiting your business. I wanted to really hit this home for you guys before we leave the room, okay? So as you continue to grow your commission-based salon, you have to really think about what kind of owner you are. Are you the kind of owner that is not able to give up control of your company? If you are, and you want to stay in the commission side, I would highly recommend that you consider profit share. And profit share is where you start selling shares into your business and buying people in that are the key players. Let's look at a law firm. What do you think a law firm's partner program is? How many of you have known an attorney that has a partnership program? What do? They look for 3 or 4 criteria. The criteria being you can make rain, so you bring in lots of new traffic, you have the ability to mentor and train new people, and you have shit tons of billable hours. Yeah? And so if those are the 3 main criteria that are met, you get to be partner if the partners that are in existence already feel like you're a great addition to it. What does that look like? You pay me $1 million, I make you partner into this law firm, and then you get to share in the dividends of it every single year from here on out. You have certain responsibilities, meaning you keep running your team, you keep creating high billable hours, you keep bringing in more traffic, and we're all good. You can stay partner. We won't buy you out. That's how partnership programs work. In my opinion, the evolution of this business is moving in that direction for commission-based salons. You know why? Because everyone wants to be their own salon owner. And instead of letting them be a salon owner in solo, which again, I have nothing against solo, I educate for solo, I think solo is amazing, okay? But I'm telling you that if you want to compete in the marketplace, you had better have a layer to keep them there and give them a little bit of ownership to do it. So I highly, highly recommend partnering them in. We've created a system called the Executive Partner Program. We have not put it into play yet. We've just run the numbers for the last year and a half, and I've consulted with attorneys, and I've consulted with accountants, and I've consulted with attorneys, like law firm people, like partners, not just on the legal side, but on the practicality side. It takes at least $14,000 a year to sustain a 401k. Okay, so you can't afford it unless you're in the millions of dollars and you have lots of profit margin to do it. Cool? Instead, consider a buy-in. So then they buy into your business, buy shares, so that in the end, they are part owner in your business. They're phantom shares, which means that they don't get to have, like, tell you, no, you can't do that. You give them very specific responsibilities that they can do, and then outside of that, they don't ever need to talk about the fact that they're owners ever again. What they get to own in is the dividend share. So if you can get your business profitable, then you share with them every year the dividends, which is okay, is because they're running your business.
And they'll help grow the dividends.
Absolutely. And guess who's helping you grow the dividends, right? So, yeah. So this is an example of a financial breakdown of a buy-in program that you can create. I'm not the specialist on this. If you want this, you need to contact an attorney and you need to contact your accountant. And these are the people that are going to help you create this layer. If you need a little guidance as to directing in the right direction, email me. This is a long conversation. So I'll be happy to talk to you about that. Okay, keep going. This is our executive partner program, and this is how we're running it. So you don't have to, this is not anything that's specific to your business, but I wanted to tell you that we have formal parameters for this program. That's just what I wanted to share. Okay, go ahead and jump. All right, so the online course is called Statement Strong. You can go there now, www.statementstrong.com. If you want more information about this, I'd be happy to share this with you. I am all about giving back, so trust me, this is not about me selling anything to you guys, okay? Whether you buy it or not, I don't care. I still love the industry the same. If you need my help, call me. I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can. But eventually, what you need to decide is that you're going to be very serious about your education level, about how to run a business. And then from there, you're going to push forward and you're going to try to get yourself educated so that you can do the right things inside your business. Okay? So I know that I want to encourage you guys for sure that commission-based salons are amazing. And I want you guys to continue to grow your commission-based salons just in the right way so that you can compete in the marketplace. Because through every single thing that we talked about today, it's about competing in the marketplace in the right way. I hope I shared a lot of information with you guys. I know it was so heavy. And I understand it was super ambitious to do this amount of slides and share this with you guys. But I wanted you to know that there are answers out there for you. I want to thank you so much for doing what you're doing to help this industry.